And they're away. And Congress and Congress goes on the beat. Yalangi and Cupid.
Good evening, welcome to On The Bit TV. We are pleased to be back in action tonight where we recap all the weekend racing. And we touch on the Coral Coast Series, plus a rising star also joins us on her flying start to the training ranks. All this and more, but first let's welcome our pennant, Dave, the Wizard Wiener. Welcome back.
Hey mate, how you going? Good to be back. G'day Scotty. And another great racing as we heat up in more ways than one leading in towards Christmas. It's pretty warm at a few of these venues over the weekend, but certainly some excellent racing at the country venues right across Queensland.
That's it, mate. That's it. Scotty.
Dave, good evening to you. Good evening, Matty.
Good evening, buddy. Mate, we've got a lot of racing to get through this weekend, and we might jump into the first meeting that you're going to cover for us tonight, mate, and that's the Barcaldine meeting. We've got 62 acceptors, including the emergencies, mate. It's always a great meeting at this time of year.
Yeah, it's a tremendous turf track out there at Barkey. The club do a great job there, and so much so they've got 6 races out there, Matty. The benchmark 55 was actually split into 2 divisions, and that's an absolute credit to them out there. And that track really races well, the grass track. Yeah, and there's some tough racing out there. I'm going to try and pick some winners for you, mate, and hopefully we can get it right.
No worries. Let's kick off with race 1. What have you found, Scotty?
Yeah, the first to go is the Ray White Rural Property Benchmark 55 First Division. That's over 1,000 metres. Due to go at 155, they got a late start out there, and of course, with the way the weather is, it's probably not a bad thing. And of course, they'll have a twilight meeting leading into the evening. But yeah, a field of 9 to go for race number 1. I like Flu Shot here. Matty Gray takes the ride for Patrick O'Toole, and it's had a bit of a break. It hasn't raced since July, but I had a look at its form. It's had 2 goes first up for 1 win, and I know Patrick O'Toole had a big opinion of this gelding, and he went around and Longreach and finished 4th before it went for a break. Before that, it was down the track behind Wicked Express and Haler's Tarry, only beaten 2.95 lengths that day, and I think that form line suggests that Flu Shot is going to be pretty hard to beat. I put it on top to beat number 2, Angels of Fenway. For Clint Austin, it's been racing in good form. Alicia Ross takes the ride there, and the 1.5 kilos off is going to be a big plus. Finished 3rd at Blackwell last up. Before that, it was 4th of 11 to Aqua Gem. That was at Barcaldine on the grass track, and I put it in as the hardest to beat. For 3rd, I put in number 5 here, Elite Grey. Was a former Jamie McConaughey trained galloper. Then went out to the Charleville area, trained by William Pugsley, raced by a syndicate of owners, and it put 2 together on the bounce when it went out there, and it finished 9th of 11 to Aqua Gem. That was in that same race that Angels of Fenway was in. But I do think Elite Grey, the 1,000 metres are suited to be hard to beat. 1 to beat 2 and 5 in race number 1.
Race 2. Race 2 in the meeting, mate. What have you found there?
Yeah, that's the 2nd division, Matty. It's the benchmark 55, once again, over 1,000 metres. Once again, sponsored by Ray White Rural. This is the 2020 Twilight Races benchmark 55, and we've got a field of 9 again for race number 2. I think Patrick O'Toole and Matty Gray, I don't want to put the mocker on them, mate, but I think they're going to have a pretty good day, and I do like Aqua Gem. I liked its last start effort. It was in a much stronger grade. Aqua Gem was 8th of 12, was it? Or 6th of 12 behind Reward the Maid. That was at the TAB meeting last Friday at Emerald, mate. Only beaten 2.75. Before that, it was a winner at Barcaldine. Likes the track. Was down the track at Blackwell and Alpha before that. But I think on the turf, Aqua Gem represents good each way value, mate, and I think it's going to be pretty hard to beat. I put it on top to beat Oliphants. I'm a former New South Wales galloper, and I think Oliphants is going to make a big play here. Now trained by David Rewald. Finished 4th of 11 at Queanbeyan last start. That was on the 9th of November, so it was only recent, and 1,000 metres will suit. And I think its form line is going to have people with a big query on Oliphant, so watch for it. The 3rd, I put in 1 Better Than Gold, trained by Rodney Little, and Emma Bell takes the ride. Finished 3rd of 12 in that Reward the Maid win That was at the Emerald TAB meeting last Friday. Access Rocket finished second, and Better Than Gold stuck to the inside and finished in third spot. So it's going to be hard to beat also. But I do like 4 to beat 2 and 1 in race number 2.
Scott, race 3 on the day starts at 3:15. Is the Ray White Real Estate Maiden, played over 1,200 metres. A very even field.
Yeah, possibly the hardest field of the day, Matty, to get the winner. But yeah, sponsored by Ray White Real Estate again. The maiden, it's over 1,200. 3:15 the start time. Again, I've gone for some form out of that TA. Weatherman, trained by Les Baker, plays a big hand here. Finished second over 1,300 metres at Emerald. I think the 1,200 metres will set it right down to the ground. Alicia Ross takes 1.5 kilos off, brings it in with 58 kilos. I do think it's going to be pretty hard to beat. I do like it, Weatherman. My fixation, number 10, was a good run in Claremont last week. Trained by Rodney Little, and Emma Bell takes the ride. It finished second behind Flash Ombre. Now, Flash Ombre won by a big space, but yeah, my fixation finished a good second. It finished third at Isis before that, and was formerly down in the southeast corner, raced down there before coming up to the Rodney Little stable. So I put a bit of a watch on it, back onto the turf. And for third, I'll put in Ventures Benear, trained by Craig Smith. Was a former southeast galloper also. Now trained by Craig, and it started the TAB meeting at Emerald also, and it was a fair run that day, so watch for it. But I made it 4 to be 10 and 6 in race number 3.
Weatherman was very much an eye catcher at Emerald, Scotty, and I remember talking to Les just prior to the race, and he said, "Matty, I'll expect the horse to improve back on the grass," and obviously did that too. So absolutely right there. The horse has definitely got its off on the till, mate. So. Race 4 is the Ray White Property Management Class B over 1,200 metres. What have you found there, Scotty? Yeah,
good field here. We've got a field of 13. Of course, one emergency being Hot Chocolate. Now, there's no scratchings as yet, so it may not get a run. But I think it might pay to forget Strike Points last start, back into a Class B now, over 1,200. Put 2 on the trot before finishing down the track at Emerald. Now, it wasn't disgraced that day. That was at a TAB meeting, and Strike Point was heavily supported that day. So where there's smoke, there's fire. It was in a Class 1, finished down the track behind High IQ and Hock. Now, that form line's pretty good because I know Adrian Coombs got a big opinion of High IQ, and it won the race. Back to the 1,200, back to a Class B. I think Strike Point's going to be pretty hard to beat. Tessa Townsend takes the ride and will take the 2 kilos off. So put a big watch on it. Number 8, B1 from the Billy Johnson stable. He's taken a big team out there, and B1 finished 4th of 10 at Roma. That was behind Corns Road. That was last weekend on Roma Cup Day. Was second at Moranbah before that. Did win 4 starts back at Longreach. Now, I think Jake Malloy has a 4 kilo claim. Will bring it right into play here. It'll be hard to beat. And for third, I'll put in number 6, Another Episode. There's one from the Boy Foster stable. And its form line is pretty good because it was down in the southeast corner. It won at Longreach, finished 4th of 9 at Blackhall. That was its next start. So back onto the turf again. I've put a bit of a watch in it also, but I made it 3 to beat 8 and 6 in race number 4.
Another episode, Tim, with the Boy Foster and Bev Foster camp, and you'd probably say there's probably not a hot training combination at the moment with Bev and Boy at the moment, no?
Yeah, no, they're going great guns, and great to see them. They'll venture down to the big meeting down there for the Stampede and Country Cup Series final next weekend in Brisbane also, and we wish them all the best of luck down there.
Yeah, no, I'll be wishing them very well too. Fantastic supporters of country racing. Race 5 on the day is the Ray White Livestock Rural Open over 1,300 metres, a field of 8.
Mate, it's put together a good field, hasn't it? There's one scratching. Number 9, Lollipop Rocket, comes out. So leaving a field of 8, race 5, the Open. Yeah, no, some good quality gallopers here. I tossed the coin, mate. I went with Best Guess here. I think that claim is going to bring it right into play again. 4 kilos off, bringing it in with 57 kilos, Best Guess. Won at Mount Perry last start, defeating Layla's Later Music Scene. Now, they're fairly handy gallopers, both of those. And it finished 5th in the Stampede heat behind Kappa and Osaka, beaten 2.9 lengths. That was before that. And then it defeated Drum Beach Choice at Gladstone 3 starts back. So I think the form line's pretty good for Best Guess, and I ended up putting it on top. Now, I think Argento Perlo is going to be hard to beat. I put it in as the hardest to beat. Now, Tessa Townsville will take the 2 kilos off of Geno Perlo. Forget its last start. That was over a mile, just a little bit too far. Got fired up and was only beaten 2.3 lengths in the end by Pro-An and Leduc. And it was a pretty good runner, Geno Perlo. And I put it in as the hardest to beat. And Boingo put in as third best. Put a bit of a watch on it for Emma Bell and Rodney Little, because its winner, Claremont, last week was very good. It did a lot of hard work early, beat off Leduc on the corner and was able to race away and win by over 3 lengths in the end. It was a very, very good win, Boingo. Put a bit of a watch on it, and I think it'll go very well. But I did make it 1 to beat 4 and 3 in race number 5.
Thanks, Scotty, mate. Race 6 is the Ray White Rural Longreach, Barcaldine Benchmark 60.
Yeah, the final event on the card is to go at 5:15. The Ray White Rural Longreach Barcaldine Benchmark 60. It's over 1,600 metres. Again, a big field, 13. One emergency here, number 13, Alabado, may not get a run, but it has got a jockey down, but Dan McGilgrave also down to ride Mashani Astana. I like the top over Jarhead. I think its form line is pretty good. It finished 4th at Blackwall last start, finished 2nd at Longreach to Van Winkle before that, and was only beaten 4.6 behind Eshiel and Valente. Now, you bring that form line into this, mate, and I think it's going to be pretty hard to beat. I do like it, Jarhead, the top weight, to be number 4, Shadow Vision. One of the Charleville Gallopers trained by William Pugsley. Finished 2nd at Blackwall. One at Isis before that, was 4th at Charleville in the Country Cup qualifier behind My Cousin Bossy. Now, it wasn't the Country Cup qualifier, it was a benchmark 55 in finishing 4th of 8. Now, that form line's pretty good for Shadow Vision. I think it's going to be hard to beat. If third, I put in the tool train Royola. Now, I'll put a bit of a watch on it also, mate, back onto the turf track. I think it'll actually grow another league on the turf, and it'll be very hard to beat. But in the last, I made it 1 Jarhead to beat 4 Shadow Vision and 2 Riola third best. It's
very competitive racing out there at Barcaldine, and always is. And like I said, the late start and obviously the cooler climate, and we wish the Barcaldine committee all the very best on that meeting there.
Yeah, I think it'll be a great day out there at Barcaldine, Matty. They get a good crowd out there, and it's generally a great day's racing. Of course, it'll be one of the final meetings out there before the Christmas New Year period. As we know, with the heat around, they do close down over that period out there. But no, I wish the club all the best, and the turf track out there is one of the best ones getting around. And yeah, some good fields out there and some good quality racing, I believe we'll see out there at Barkey on the weekend.
Yeah, fantastic people out there, and they're really always very welcoming out there at Barcaldine, and always enjoy the racing, and always very competitive. Dave, at the next meeting that we're going to throw to, mate, will be Mount Isa. We have 6 races and 63 acceptances, including emergencies.
Yeah, Matty, gee, tough meeting out here at Mount Isa, and a very good meeting again. Some of the races wide open, some pretty tough to pick a winner in. But we kick off the first as a benchmark 60 over the 1,450 metre trip out there. Look, I've gone with the 2 on top, Static Lift. Dan Ballard to ride, drawn barrier 3. Beaten a length in a benchmark 65 last start. Having said that, he does have to get the trip. He hasn't won past 1,250. He does have to get 1,450. So I think from barrier 3, he can get a pretty soft run. I think he can be getting the chocolate Static Lift. To beat the 8 Echelon Rose, I think far last start, but forget that. It won twice prior to that. The only downside there is from the wide barrier 11 for Echelon Rose. It has 3 wins at 1,400 plus, so won't have any trouble at the 1,450. And for third, I've thrown in the 11 Fire Ranger. Comes out of certainly stronger races than what he's going into on Saturday. He doesn't win often, but he'll certainly on his past form get the trip. And I thought he could run into a place Fire Ranger. So the first, the benchmark 60, I've gone 2 Static Lift over 8 Echelon Rose and the 11 Fire Ranger. Race 2 is a 0 to 65 ratings band race over 1,000 metres. And, this is a good race, this, and very, very, very competitive. Look, I've gone with the 3 Lord Windermere on top from the Bob Burrow stable out there, to be ridden by Angela Jones. Big drop in weight here with the claim for Angela Jones. Will carry 56.5. It's been carrying 60.5, 61 and a half its last few starts. So it'll feel like it's got a featherweight on with Angela Jones. It's run second at its last 3, but it has won 4 times at the 1,000 metres. So I think that stands in pretty good stead for this race here on Saturday. To beat the 2, Christmas Creek, the Denise and Keith Ballard combination, been placed at its last 4. Very, very consistent. Think it can run into the money again. And for third, the 1, the Toppy World of Pain, has drawn the outside alley, is a last start winner, and has won 8 times over the flying 1,000 metres. So maybe they'll get back and charge home World of Pain too. It's a very, very competitive race, but you can only put 1 on top. So it's the 3 Lord Windermere to beat 2 Christmas Creek and 1 World of Pain. I think any of them can probably win, but it's a very, very good race. The second there, the 0 to 65 at Mount Isa. Race 3 is a Cutest Maiden Plate over 1,100 metres. And one of these obviously won't be a maiden after this, and I'm thinking it'll be the 7, Boss's Daughter. It's been placed its last 3. Look at beat home Winnie Blue last start. And I have put Winnie Blue in to run second. I think it can turn the tables, Boss's Daughter. Over the 10, Winnie Blue, it's been placed its last 2. So I think they're the top 2, and I think they'll fight it out. And for third, I've put in the 4, Shanahan. Now, if it gets a start, there may be a little problem with maybe 1 or 2 jockeys out there at Mount Isa. If Shanahan gets a start, no jockey on at the moment, has been placed 5 times from the 12 starts. I think it can get into the third money. So in the maiden plate over 1,100, the 7, Boss's Daughter, over the 10, Winnie Blue, and the 4, Shanahan. Over to race 4, we've got a benchmark 50 over 1,200 metres, and there's 2 of these benchmark 50s over 1,200 metres out there at Mount Isa on Saturday. The first one, I've gone with the handicapper here, 1, 2 and 3. Fast Chips on top, the 1 for Jane Morris and Dan Ballard is carrying almost a grandstand, isn't it, with 63.5. It's going well, last start winner. I think Dan Ballard can get it home. To beat the 2, Bold Sam. Look, wasn't far away from Lord Windermere and World of Pain last start, and I've tipped them to run 1 and 3 in a 0 to 65. So this is dropping back to a benchmark 50. So it's competitive with those horses. It's certainly going to be right in this, the 2, Bold Sam. And for third, I've put in Fandrel, the 3, just beaten behind Fast Chips last start. Not far away at all, so if Fast Chips can be winning, if this horse Fandrel brings its form from last start, it can make it very, very competitive too. So I've gone with the handicap at 1, 2, 3 in the benchmark 50 over 1,200 metres in what I think, again, is another very, very competitive race. All right, this is the second leg, the benchmark 50 over 1,200. I think this is a race in 2, this one. The 5, Shaminda, and the 3, Shiv Khani. Now, Shaminda, 3 starts back at Mount Isa, beat Shiv Khani home. Shiv Khani was second to Fast Chips at its last start. I've tipped Fast Chips to win the first of the 1,200s. So if it brings that form, it's obviously right in. I think they're the top 2 in the race. So I think Shaminda can repeat the dose where it beat Shiv Khani at Mount Isa 3 starts back and get the money there. To beat the 3 for the reasons I've outlined. And the third, the 4, King Solomon. It's been, might be a fraction short for but it's won or placed 7 times from 14 starts at the track. So goes very well out there at Mount Isa. I think it can run home into third. So 5, Shaminda over 3, Shiv Khani, and the 4, King Solomon, and another pretty good race. In race 5, the second of the benchmark 50s over 1,200. And the last out there, the open handicap over 1,200 metres. And, gee, this is a good race to finish the program. I found it hard to tip a winner, but I think that the Toppy's a quality horse, but I've gone with the 4, Try and Run Amok. Bob Burrow, last start winner. I think it can get away with this to beat the 1, Charlie Cat. He was 4th last start, mixed his form a little bit, but he's been placed 6 from 7 at the track, placed his 3 starts prior to last start. He's a quality animal, no doubt. Be very hard to beat. And for third, the 2, Wicked Wiki. And if you talk about a consistent horse, won 15 races, this horse, and we'd all like to have a horse that's won 2 or 3, wouldn't we? And this one, Wicked Wiki's won 15. So, gee, it'll be rattling home at the end too, I think. So a very, very competitive race and a really good way to finish the program out there at Mount Isa. In race 6, the Open over 1200, the 4 Try and Run Amok over 1 Charlie Cat and 2 Wicked Wiki.
Yeah, the Tanya Barry stable, Dave, out there, they really, really get behind the racing out there. And Tanya's got a big string of horses in work. I know that out there. And then when you see the fields out there and you've got Tanya with 3 and 4 and possibly 5 in some races out there, a lot of staff, I guess, on the day and really do a great job up there in the northwestern region. And yeah, Wicked Wiki actually did qualify for the Stampede final, but it's not actually going down to it, mate. So yeah, it'll be hard to beat up there, all right.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more, mate. And those like this time of the year too, starting to get pretty warm up in the northern part of the state, and a lot of travelling, a lot of hard work, as you said, for trainers, jockeys, strappers. They cover a lot of ground, and yeah, good luck to them all up there, and I hope they all have a very, very successful day there at Mount Isa on Saturday.
Gentlemen, the next meeting on the weekend, Scotty, is actually, we'll touch on this as well, is the Coral Coast Series in Townsville, and this has actually been scheduled obviously the same time, mate, as the Country Cup Challenge and Country Cup Stampede. Do you get the feeling, mate, it probably took a little bit of the gloss off in regards to the quality that we may have seen from one series to the other, mate?
I think you're spot on, Matty. When you look at the fields and some of the gallopers that are racing in the, particularly the Coral Coast Lightning and also the Coral Coast Cup, and we know that we've got the Queen of the Coral Coast heat up there, the final up there also for the fillies and mares, but yes, a bit of the gloss taken off with particularly the Stampede when Barat won the heat up there in Cairns last start. I thought, you know, I had him down as one of the ones to watch, but then he's also qualified for the Lightning and doesn't have to travel as far, and the finals up there in Townsville, so worth the same money as what it would be to go down to Brisbane for the Country Stampede. So fully understand why the sprinters don't go down. And yeah, just the timing of it, mate. Possibly, you know, yeah, around the same time I had the heats, and now the finals run a week before, and you know, certainly some of the horses could back up, but it's a long, you know, process to get them from the north down to the Brisbane area for that final next weekend of the Country Stampede and also Country Cup. But yeah, disappointing to, you know, see a few of the runners that don't get a chance to go to Brisbane for that final, and they're electing to stay to the north, which is fully understandable, mate.
Yeah, no, it certainly is. Like I said, some quality horses, and like I said, it's been a very tricky year for racing Queensland during the COVID, so no major criticism there, but we look forward to both those series. And Scotty, you're just going to touch on those 3 races in Townsville just quickly. What have you come up with, mate?
Yeah, no, there's some good gallopers in three of the finals, all right. First one is race 5. That's the Coral Coast Lightning Open handicap over the 1,000 metres. The one scratching an important one, I think he would have been one of the favourites. Bo Jet, number 2, comes out. So leaving a field of 7 over the 1,000-metre trip down the hill at Townsville over the 1,000 now. Interestingly enough, there's going to be a lot of speed on here, and you've got Hidden Heaven who's drawn out wide. Barat will go forward. Marino. A lot of speed on, and you get the impression Shea Black, Justin Stanley and Shane Sigvard again combined, drawn 5 will sit back off that tempo. Shea Black's raced up at Townsville before and has one up there. 1,000 metres may be the only query, Matty, that I've got, but I think it's going to be pretty hard to beat. I put the 6 on top, Shea Black, to beat Barat for Janelle Ryan and Ryan Wiggins. Very good winner last start. That was in Cairns over the shorter course up there, but I like the way that it sat off that speed battle early, and yeah, Wiggins was able to get it to the outside and running past Hidden in Heaven, and Desert Cowboy got home well for third. But yeah, no, I think Barat will be hard to beat. For third, I'll put in one of the up-and-coming runners here, Marino, number 5. That's trained by Wayne Pomfret, and Bodine Appo is going to take the ride. It's drawn barrier 2. Now, it'll probably get a cushy run also. Now, it's won its last 3 on the bounce, all at Mackay, I might add. Its last win was defeated Holy Freeze and Raiden. Now, Raiden's qualified for the final down there next weekend for the Stampede. So that 4 mine is okay there, mate. But yeah, I do like Shea Black, the 6 to beat 3 Barat and 5 Marino in the Coral Coast final, the Lightning handicap race number 5.
It's got an exceptional turn of foot, hasn't it, Shea Black, when Shane Sigvard, and yeah, like I said, if they get into a speed battle, obviously set it up, but Interesting to see how that plays out, because we know that Marino goes forward very quickly, and we also know Hidden and Heaven longs to get along as well. But yeah, and then you got the Janelle Ryan horse as well. So it's going to be an intriguing race, and I just don't know whether Shea Black, if it's any further back than 5 lengths, could pick up that quality of horse in that race. I think coming to the corner, mate. So intriguing to see tempo related,
Yeah,
and that may dictate that result, mate. The next race, mate. What have we got?
Race 6 at the Queen of the Coast final. It's the fillies and mares benchmark 72 over the 1,400 metres. That's to go at 3:32. Now, big field of 13 here, and it's a very tough race. Now, I like Dream Big, now trained by Georgie Burke, was formerly trained by Daryl Hanson. Raced through the Carnival Dream Big, and it's gone up to Townsville, and it's won 4 out of its last 5 starts. So it's won 3 at Townsville, and it won 1 at Mackay out of those 4 runs. So I do like it to win Dream Big. Chris Whiteley takes the ride for Georgie Burke. It did win at Mackay over the 1,300. Before that, it won at Townsville. So it'll be rock solid in condition, and I do think that distance will suit it right down to the ground, the 1,300. So I put it on top, Dream Big. Now, Baldeus is the hardest to beat, trained by Jared Wheeler. Now, it finished second to Dream Big last start. That was in Mackay. And before that, it raced in Brisbane. So it'll have support, Baldeus. And I do think it'll be very hard to beat, because it finished third 3 starts back at Eagle Farm behind Fasano and Fuji Fly. Now, that form line is pretty good. I just think it's got to get up, and in that warmer weather, Dream Big's been up there, mate. So it'll be a lot more acclimatised than Baldeus. But Baldeus was a very good run behind Dream Big last start, going down narrowly in Mackay. The 1,300 will suit, so it'll be hard to beat. Now, for third, I put in one at each way odds, mate. Number 8, Candy Girl, trained by Graham Hughes up there at Townsville. Scott Sheargold takes the ride. Finished third to Double Demon last start. Before that was down the track to Sizzling Sun. Now, I give it a good chance because it races well on the track up there at Townsville. So I made it 1 to beat 4 and 8 in race number 6.
Mate, the Coral Coast Cup over 1,609 metres. What have you found there, Scotty?
Oh, gee, it's brought together a good field too, Matty. A field of 11 to go at 12 minutes after 4. Probably 7 chances in the race, mate. I came up with Fly for Yulong. Jared Willow has this horse in tip-top condition, raced very well at Mackay last start. The saddle slipped. It got out to a big lead of around 10 lengths it had in the early and middle parts. Now, Chris Whiteley takes the ride there on Saturday on Fly for Yulong. Won at Rocky 2 starts back, was down the track at Doomben. There were a few problems with Fly for Yulong, but they worked them out, and it was a good win at Mackay over Sharanda and Cavaliero last start. Won by nearly 5 lengths still in the end after it had that big lead in the early and middle part of the race. I think it's going to be very hard to beat Fly for Yulong. I put it on top. Number 3, Sharanda, from the Johnny Manselman stable. It won the Townsville Cup this year. Has raced right through. It's been to Brisbane and been competitive down there. It was a good second last start. That was behind Fly for Yulong. And its liking for the Townsville track is going to bring it right into play here. So put a bit of a watch on Sharanda. The 1,600 will suit it right down to the ground. And for third, I put in Tambo's Heart. Chelsea Jockeys actually takes the ride on Sharanda. Now, Tambo's Heart, he's got that style of racing. Now, Fly for Yulong will obviously go forward. But Tambo's Heart, that's his style of racing. He gets up on the speed, arches the neck, and just lobs along like he did last start in Cairns. And he was just caught the last little bit by Penny Agua and Macquero. Now, Tambo's Heart also qualified for the Country Cup final next weekend, so they've elected to stay in the north. Nathan Day's got a good association with the horse, trained by Janelle Ryan. And Tambo's Heart, he's another one that's in good form, won 3 out of its last 5 and hasn't been out of the money for its last 7 starts. So Tambo's Heart, a big query. I put it in for third. 8 to beat 3 and 1 in the Corals Coast Cup.
Yeah, I get the feeling they probably have one eye on Chris out in front, and I'm not wanting him to get too far ahead. I think there'll be a few that will probably ride their horses probably a length or two probably closer than what they wanted, because like I said, that run on Mackay, Jared had that horse pretty much in tip-top condition. So yeah, so I give Bust a block with Graham Cleese. It's good to see Graham Cleese down to 54 kilos as well. He's a champion rider, and that's a good sign for me, seeing Graham ride 54. So give it an each way chance in a hard race as well, mate. The next meeting, that pretty much wraps up Townsville there, Scotty. Do you have a best bet there before we go, mate?
I think Shea Black's got to be a good thing, Matty, in race number 5 on the card, the Coral Coast Lightning, to go at 252. I think Justin Stanley's got a good key to the horse. He knows the horse well. Shane Sigvard will turn it out in a magnificent order. He would have freshened it up for the 1,000. It'll race close. It's raced there and won before, and I think the speed up front will suit its pattern right down to the ground, and it'll come to the outside and be strong at the end, mate.
And that wraps up Townsville. Dave, our last meeting on the weekend this week is Thangool, mate, and it's going to be a very good meeting there. We've got 63, 59 acceptances, I should say, and that's including emergencies.
Yeah, for the 5 races, it is a really good program, Matty. And of course, it's Thangool Cup and Thangool Newmarket Day. And of course, for those that might not know, in 3 weeks' time, we go from Thangool back to Gladstone, the Gladstone Newmarket and Gladstone Cup, and there is some bonuses on these races. I just quickly want to say, if you win both Newmarkets or both Cups, there's $6,000 in bonuses there that can be won across the 2 races. So there's a bit of an incentive there for trainers if they can get the money at Thangool. 3 weeks' time, slip over to Gladstone. But the first at Thangool, and we'll be on a fast 2 unless they get a storm through there in the next couple of nights. That'll be a fast 2. It'll be a red-hot, on-pace track out there at Thangool. Nice little short straight. And if you can head for home in front, you're a pretty fair chance. So we'll be looking for the on-paces. And the first one's a Cutest Maiden, played over 1,075. Look, I've got the 5 on top, Matagorda. Graham Green up there in Rocky. Last start before a spell, this horse was third to a horse called Kotabaru. Won its first couple up there in outstanding fashion in Rocky. It's pretty smart. This horse ran third behind it. It's had 2 trials, soft trials, placed in both. I think it's winning the maiden, the 5. To beat 2, Global Venture. Good form, the southeast corner, new to the Jason Devine stable out there at Thangool. It'll run well. And for 3rd to 7, Toy Witty. Second at its last 3 seconds out of its last 4 starts. Very consistent. Struggles to win, but it can run into a place. So 5 to beat 2 and 7 in the first. The Cutest Maiden, played over 1,075. The Class B over 800. Big long straight run here, about 600 metres, and you swing into the short sharp, short corner, and then 200 metres down the finishing line. 1 corner to navigate. I've got the 9 Konnichiwa on top from the David Reynolds stable to be ridden by Leanne McCoy. 2nd at Mount Perry last start. 3rd in that race was Bit of Grey Magic from the Owen Jones stable. I think it goes pretty well. So Konnichiwa's finished in front of that. I think it can be winnings. Drawn barrier 1, straight on the bunny, rails like a greyhound and wins. To beat the 6 Tinder. Beaten 3.5 at Beaudesert and a benchmark 55 last start. Pretty good form coming up here to Thangool. Does race on the speed. Thought it could run 2nd. And look, I've thrown in the 1 Glam Rock for 3rd. The only downside, it's drawn barrier 14. But it's at 5 starts at the distance. Hasn't missed a place. 1, 2 of them 2nd twice. It's 1 from 1 at the track and distance. As I say, it's only got that 1 corner to navigate. I'll push forward on that. It'll be right up on top of the speed and can certainly make its presence felt. So I've got the 9 on top, Konnichiwa, to beat 6 Tinder and 1 Glam Rock in the Class B over 800. Race 3 is 0 to 55 over 1,400. And this is wider open than Sydney Heads, this race, I think. There's not a last start winner in it, so pretty hard to work out the form. But I've gone with Rock and Roll Bobby on top. Midfield last start at Mackay. 1 over 1,400 at Yeppoon, 3 or 4 back. Plenty of starts, doesn't win regularly, but I think it'll be pretty close to speed and can get away with this. The 5 Rock and Roll Bobby. To beat the 12 Teloff, another one from the Barry Phillips stable. 2nd last start in Gladstone. It's been placed 5 out of 6 starts on a firm track. It'll certainly get that at Thangool over there Saturday. It'll get the trip, no worries. It's 1 up to 1,500. And for 3rd, I've put in the 4 Gang. Beaten 1.65 at Claremont last start. Does have to get the trip. Hasn't won past 1,200. But I think Dakota Graham will give it a pretty soft run from the barrier, just behind the leaders. And if it gets the trip, may even get over them. But I put the 5 Rock and Roll Bobby on top over the 12 Teloff and the 4 Gang in race 3. Race 4 is the Noel Howard Memorial Thangool Newmarket over the 1,200 metres. And I think the money here will be going back to Emerald with the Raymond Williams stable. I've got the 1 Shiguru Mahogany on top. It'll push forward. It'll be on the speed. 4th to Raiden and 4th to Zukaz. Not beaten far its last 2 starts. Raiden and Zukaz in this might be even money, mightn't they? So Shiguru Mahogany not far behind those. I think it can win. To beat 3, Music Scene, another one from the Dave Reynolds stable down there at Dolby, Liam McCoy to do the steering. 3rd at Cumbia last start, behind Hot Diggity, I think, that potentially qualified in that race from memory for the Stampede. Stand corrected there. Then 3rd at Mount Perry, behind a pretty smart one of Bevan Johnson's Best Guess that does go well last start. I think Music Scene will get a pretty good run in this, does handle the track, likes it on top of the ground. I think it can run 2nd. And I'll put the 2nd Raymond Williams runner, Hales Tarry, in to run 3rd. 2 back there at Yeppoon in the same race Shiguru Mahogany was in. He was 3rd to Raiden, not beaten far at all. And that form for mine certainly stacks up for this. So pretty good race this. But I think the spoils go out there to Emerald, 1 Shiguru Mahogany to beat 3 Music Scene and 4 Hales Tarry. And the last is the Eric and Val Nobbs Memorial Thangool Cup over the 1,600. And talking about the spoils going to Emerald, no pressure here, Scott Power. But Fastnet Flyer on top for me to win the Thangool Cup. The Glenda Bell, Elise Smith combination there. I think he's just the best horse in the race. 4th to Pro-Am, beating the length at Emerald last start. Gee, that's good. That is good form for this race. I think Fastnet Flyer adds another little tick to the number 1 box there and gets home to win the cup. Over the 4 Regal Reese. Now, Regal Reese 2 back at Yeppoon beat Ladude and Pro-Am. So that is pretty good form. I think it'll be tough to beat Regal Reese. Again, it'll race up on the speed. And, you know, gee, beating Pro-Am then's come out frank the form, hasn't it? And one out there, beat Fastnet Flyer at Emerald. So, gee, good contest there. And I found it tough to find a 3rd in this. I was a big fan of Chin Chin Biller. He just hasn't come up this preparation from the Bevan Johnson stable. Had an absolute cracker of a prep last time, but just hasn't come up and beaten Fairway Chinchilla last start. So, look, if he turns the form around, can run well. But, look, I've thrown in Oakey from the Pat Brennan stable. Only won a couple of races, but came from down south where it had some pretty good form. And I think one of the locals there might get in the prize money and run 3rd in the cup out there at Thangool. So the 1 Fastnet Flyer on top over 4 Regal Reese and 6 Oakey and a good quality Thangool Cup to finish up the meeting out there on Saturday.
I hope you're right, Dave. This is possibly Fastnet's last prep too, mate. So we'll just see how things pan out on Saturday. But we've had a roller coaster ride with him, mate. He's been a very consistent galloper, and he's not racing with the same zest he did a couple of years ago, as we know. But that run in Emerald the other day was pretty good, and we think he can go okay over there at Thangool. He's raced there before, so yeah, fingers crossed, mate, and hope you're right.
So if he wins that, do you bring him to Gladstone for the bonus money?
Mate, I don't think his pattern of racing will suit on the sand track, mate. He generally gets back behind them and has one crack at them, mate. And I don't think he'll like this stuff coming back in his face.
Well, they can win from anywhere there.
1,000 reasons to give it a go, Scotty. All right, guys, that wraps up all the racing on the weekend. We might have to take our first break for the night. And after the break, we're going to come back with up-and-coming trainer Kayla Russell.
On the Bit is proudly supported by Manuplex, creating a more productive future for Australian mining.
We do it all. 1-800-4PLUMBER. Plumber to your door. Bathroom, kitchens, renovations, roof repairs and installations with clear communication. Sim will be right there. Emergency service on repair. For water and gas, we do it all. Just call for plumber to your door. 1-800 for plumber. Plumber to your door.
Everyday energy solutions. Hornet solar. A perfect solution without the pollution. Clean energy creation all around the nation. Everyday energy solutions. Hornet solar. Everyday energy solutions. Hornet solar.
It's time for tonight's Celebrity Tip-Off. Tonight, the beard takes on Bic. Here are the boys' selections for tomorrow. Good luck.
Welcome back to On The Bit TV for this Friday night. Our next guest is up-and-coming trainer Kayla Russell. Kayla, welcome to the show.
Hi guys, how are you?
Kayla, for those who don't know you, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and how long you've been training for, mate?
Well, I've only been training for about 6 months. I live up in Charters Towers. And just started my racing career. I've been with horses mainly all my life, so I've been show jumping and whatnot. So, but yeah, just having a crack at the racing side of things.
Carla, have you got a big team in work at the moment?
4 at the moment. One new one arriving next week. So.
Now, we've got a big meeting in Townsville, of course, tomorrow. What runners do you have lined up for the Townsville meeting tomorrow, and are there any chances?
Well, God, I hope they're all chances. But so we got a young mare going around. She's 4-year-old, so I shouldn't say really young, but she's having her first start with us and her first race start. So it should be interesting. Hopefully the racing atmosphere doesn't take a toll on her, but I think she should be still pretty handy. Obviously our boy Final Warning is going around again. He's backing up. Different jockey on this time. I'm a little bit nervous. Massey is up in Cairns. He was meant to be going to Barcaldine and would have had a full book there. So, but yeah, he's had a bit of a fall, so I don't think he's going anywhere, poor bugger. And then we've got Grey Top, who he'll get there. He's going to be half handy if he settles down and uses his mind.
It was actually improved run, Kayla, at
And of course,
Grey Top.
Yeah. Just getting a race for him in his class over the distance. It's been quite challenging, but hopefully we'll get there. Hopefully when the country meets start back up next year for likes of Ainsley and Mount Garnet, and I think he'll be a real crack at them just to build up his confidence again and give it another crack at Townsville.
so Carla, you're actually juggling work with also training the horses. What's an early start for you? What time do you start things off with your employment as well?
Well, I start at 6. We're week on, week off, which is pretty good. So, and I finish at 2:30. So we usually do all our riding in the afternoon when we can. So you know, it's pretty good, and I do work at a pretty good place, and they're pretty lenient when I need to have race days off. So
that's always a bonus.
Well, that's tremendous, and good luck. Good luck on Saturday, and we wish you all the very best up there. It's a good track.
Thank you. Yeah, it's come back a good track. Yeah, it definitely has.
No, that's fantastic. Kayla, we're going to get straight into it. We've got 60 seconds in the bush thanks to Go To Park. Are you ready?
Oh, ready as I'll ever be.
It's time for 60 Seconds in the Bush, thanks to Go To Park for all your training, breeze up, sales prep and spelling needs.
Okay, the favourite horse you've seen or trained?
Seen? Look, I'd have to go She Be Stinging. She was one of my mum's racehorses. Behind the scenes, what this mare could do, and how much of a handful she was, and to get to the track and this mare to do what she could do was pretty unreal. She had to turn a foot like no other.
The biggest influence on your racing career?
On my racing career, I'd have to go with Clive Gordon. He's always up there doing the weights. He hasn't been recently due to his health, but he's always been a big influence on my career.
Most embarrassing song on your playlist?
See, this is a tough one because I don't really have any embarrassing ones. I always rock them, no matter whether it be Nicki Minaj or Dolly Parton. So I couldn't give you a good answer with that.
Can you sing us a line or two right now?
It's a lie. Oh God, no one wants to hear me sing.
You're stuck on a deserted island, Kayla, with two people. Who would you want on the island with you and why?
Oh, if I was stuck on an island with two people, oh God. Well, it wouldn't be Dylan, my partner, because we'd end up arguing who was right and who got left here and whose fault it was while we were stuck on the island. So, and I'd have to go, I reckon, if I was stuck on an island, I'd have to be my daughter, Miley, and look, I'd have to get my best mate, Tristan. At least we'd work together.
Right, fantastic. Your favourite track?
Look, I'd have to go Innisfail because I'm 100% strike rate at the moment at Innisfail, so I'll stay with that one.
Fantastic. Your favourite jockey?
I can't go past Massa. He's a legend.
He's the champion. Your nickname?
Poss.
Your celebrity crush?
Oh, would you call Billy Slater a celebrity crush? I don't know if he'd be a celebrity. I'll run with that, yeah.
If you could win any race, what would you want to win, mate?
Any race. I'm Cleveland Bay, I reckon. Yeah.
All right, fantastic. Thank you very much, Kayla Russell. That's 60 Second in the Bush, thanks to Go2 Park. And Dave, what do you think about those answers from Kayla?
Yeah, well, mate, I can't say I'm a Nicki Minaj fan, but I'm certainly a Dolly Parton fan, so might be showing my age there a little bit.
Yeah.
That's for sure. But I think we're all in the same boat, Carla, when it comes to singing a few lines for those songs. We like to do it, but we don't do it a lot in public, do we?
No, definitely not. No, I'm a little bit nervous about, like, even these interviews that I get with Michael Charge, like, in front of the camera, I get real nervous. As you can tell in my Innisfail interview, I accidentally saw on live TV, so it wasn't. It's been an overcoming thing.
We've all made that mistake. And just a word of warning: I see you've got P. Romeo and a couple of horses up there on Saturday.
Yes.
Now listen, he wouldn't shout if a shark bit him. If he wins one, he'll have his hand out for a sling. Make no mistake. So take a wallet with you.
I bet. Well, he's talked the talk. He's always got behind Mass. He's like, I could ride that horse better. So now's his chance. So yeah. I want to see it. If he's not winning on final warning, well, yeah, he would want to come back.
Yeah, that's a very good attitude. Put up or shut up. So the pressure's on Pietro.
Yeah, that's it.
And I hope he gets the horse home for you.
I've just got to say, I really do think it's a photo finish between Massa and Pietro there.
Matt, I couldn't fault any of Massa's rides on Finn. He's done everything he could, and they've just been a team together. So I'm a little bit nervous, a new rider on Finn, because Finn can be a bit of a handful when he wants to be. He's this big, overpowering tank when he wants to be, and he can be scared of the most littlest things. So, and he's a big unit. Like, you sit on him and you think, oh my God, like.
No, that's fantastic. We wish you well tomorrow in Townsville, mate, and thank you for joining us here. Before we go, everybody, Dave, I'll throw it over to you quickly for a best bet for the weekend, and whereabouts and where?
Oh, look, if I'm looking at the races that I've tipped this weekend, Matty, I'm going to go to the maiden at Thangool, and I'm going to go Matagorda on top to win the maiden. I think it's the good thing of the day out there at Thangool, closely followed by Fastnet Flyer.
Scotty Power, expert tipster for On the Bet. Can you lead us into one?
I think I'll go 2 here. I'll go Barcaldine race 3. I think Weatherman will get the money out there. It's a run at Emerald was very good, and I think it'll break its maiden status out there for the Les Baker stable. Part owned by the Moody's in Melbourne, and also the Power family out in Charleville. So, and also Shea Black, I think in race 5 at Townsville in the Coral Coast Lightning handicap over the 1,000 metres. I think that speed up front is going to set it right down to the ground. Justin Stanley will have it in the right spot, come to the outside and be strong at the end. So, yeah, Weatherman and Barcaldine and Shea Black and Townsville were 2 good things for the weekend.
Fantastic, Scotty. And
good luck to you.
Russell, your best bet tomorrow.
Is my best bet tomorrow?
Yes.
Oh, I haven't even really looked at the form. My bet would have been Bojet, but I seen that it's just been scratched. So,
Final warning?
look, I've always, Finn. I don't bet my own horses because I know what racing's like. It's all up to luck, and yeah, but I would back Finn.
All right, fantastic.
Final warning, I should say.
We just heard it from Kayla. We thank Kayla for joining us. Dave Weiner, thank you for joining us tonight.
Absolute pleasure again, Matty, as always. And to you, Scotty, good to talk to you again, mate. Good luck with the flyer out there on Saturday. And Kayla, good luck with all yours. And good luck to all the participants on Saturday across racing, whether it be Queensland country or across the whole of our country. Fantastic industry we're in, and wish everybody the best of luck.
Scotty Power, thank you, mate, and good luck with.
Hey, thanks, Dave.
Good luck with the flyer, mate, and him.
Thanks, Matty.
Kayla Russell, we thank you again for joining us. Shows like tonight don't actually, happen without our major sponsors and Manuplex, Backtrack Industries, Aries Racing, Horn and Bird, Plumber to Your Door, Brett Baker Racing, and Charlotte Deville Racing. Gentlemen, and Kayla, thank you so much for joining us, and that's all from myself tonight, and happy punting to everyone in Queensland this weekend. Good night.
If you would like to advertise your business or training operation, contact the team at On The Bit today. On The Bit, racing towards a brighter future for Queensland country racing.